What's up guys, my name is Brandon and I've been using the final version of iOS 12.1.2 for more than 3 weeks here on my daily driver, the iPhone XS Max, and I wanted to make a follow-up video letting you guys know how it's been treating me for pretty much the past month now. So I'm going to be talking about some issues I've been having, the battery life, the performance, cell signal, cell connectivity, everything in this video. And before we go any further in this video, I just want to preface this video by saying that I know that all of the issues I'm going to discuss in this video are not happening to everyone, but this video is not about everyone. It's about my personal experience and also about the experience from some of you guys that have told me how it's been treating you. So when I talk about the issues I've been having in this video, I am by no means saying that it's very widespread and that everybody has these issues and that it's just a terrible software update. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just giving you guys my thoughts and my experience. And if you guys are active on my channel and you're checking out the community tab as well, you would know that yesterday I did run a poll to get more insight as to how 12.1.2 has been for you guys. So make sure to check that out. I'm going to touch on that later on in this video as well. But if you didn't vote for that, you can go ahead and vote over there as well. The voting never closes. All right, so now let's talk about the actual firmware here, 12.1.2. And let's start off with a topic that was very controversial from the start. And I've made multiple videos on this, and that is the cell connectivity issue I've been having pretty much since day one here on my iPhone XS Max. And I am not alone. iDevice Help is another one, many others as well, but iDevice Help and I have talked about this on Twitter, how he's had the same issue with his iPhone XS Max. So the thing I will say is that iOS 12.1.2 did in fact fix cell connectivity very slightly. So 12.1.1 was worse than 12.1.2. I said this in a video earlier on, and I also said this over on Twitter, but now I am confirming it after about a month of use. The cell connectivity has definitely improved with 12.1.2. Now it is by no means great. It's still having issues and I still get better connectivity on something like my iPhone XR or even going back to my iPhone 10. But I will tell you that the cell signal is still very poor for a lot of people. Some people have told me how they drop calls, how they can't even make calls, and just a lot of issues that people have been having. And if you take a look over at the Apple support forums, you will see a lot of people talking about this as well. And since I do believe this is a software-based issue, now I'm not completely ruling out that it could be hardware-based, but since I'm thinking it is software-based, I was trying to think about what could actually be causing these cell connectivity issues. And the only thing I can really think of is the introduction of eSIM. I think that somehow just interrupts with the cell signal, the regular SIM card or something. I just feel like it has something to do with the eSIM now in iOS 12. So I'm going to continue monitoring this throughout iOS 12 and obviously iOS 13 later this year. But for now, it's still not the best. It still could be improved. However, 12.1.2 is better than 12.1.1. And if we go to my channel and go to the community tab and go to the poll right here, you could see some of the comments on here. And first of all, 12.1.2 has been great for most people. I had over 6,000 votes in 22 hours. 48% of people said it was great. 6% only said it was terrible. 16% said that there were some bugs, but not terrible. And if you take a look at some of the comments, this person right here, and it actually has 8 thumbs up as well. I'm not sure how many people also have this issue, but he said that his iPhone XS cuts out all phone calls over Wi-Fi and over LTE. Apple refused to change it as they told me it's a known problem. They are trying to fix it with updates. So yeah, that's extremely bad. And apparently it's a hardware issue from what he was told, or what he believes. Now I don't know how true that is. I don't think it's a hardware issue, but pretty sad to see something like that. And some of these people said that they have no issues. Some people, using an iPhone XR, he said that he can use the iPhone XR for a day. And after updating to the latest version, I have to charge my phone almost twice a day. So he's saying it's not terrible, but the battery life is pretty bad. And that is a very common theme. If you go throughout all these comments, a lot of people are saying how terrible the battery life has been. And that is the next thing I'm going to touch on. So yeah, let's talk about the battery life, because this is another very controversial topic that I have also mentioned in the beta video and also when it did first get released, when 12.1.2 did first get released. And obviously the battery stats and the screen time stats aren't really going to tell you much, but I can just tell you that on a day-to-day basis, iOS 12.1.2, the battery life is definitely worse than any other version in iOS 12. This is the worst battery life I've had since owning the iPhone XR. You can see it, I don't know why it says only the last 3 days now, instead of the last 10 days. But you can see here my average screen on and screen off time. And if we go to my screen time settings right here, you can see just how much I'm actually using my phone. You can see I average about 5 hours and 43 minutes of screen on time over the last 7 days. But yeah, there's really not much to talk about here with the battery life other than to say that it has been worse on 12.1.2. And since I do still use my iPhone XR a bit as well, it's now on 12.1.3. But when I did have it on 12.1.2, I did also notice that the battery life was worse on the XR as well. So this does not seem to be an issue with just the XS and XS Max. So now I want to show you guys a very, very annoying bug that I did run into on 12.1.2, and this has to do with the status bar and showing airplane mode. So let me go ahead and play this screencast. I actually shared this over on Twitter a little while back. But you can see up in the status bar, it actually shows that I'm in airplane mode even when I'm not. So you can see here, I go in and show that airplane mode is definitely not enabled, and I have LTE and Wi-Fi on. And when I swipe down, it doesn't show the airplane logo, but when I go back to the home screen and inside of applications, it shows the airplane logo up in the status bar, which is really, really annoying. Now, rebooting the phone did fix this issue, but it did go on for, like 6 hours until I finally decided, okay, I don't think this is going to go away by itself, so I need to restart my phone, and eventually that did fix it. But it lasted over 6 hours until it actually, until I actually decided to turn off my phone. So who knows how long it would have lasted if I wouldn't have done that. So that is a very annoying bug that will frustrate you if you run into it. Doesn't seem like much if you're just watching it, on a screen recording, but it is very frustrating when it actually happens to you. So now I want to briefly talk about the Wi-Fi connectivity, because this has not been an issue for me for a while now on iOS 12. I did have it briefly in earlier versions of iOS 12, but I have not had any issues with Wi-Fi in 12.1.2. However, some people are having random disconnects on 12.1.2, and I've seen this in the forums. I also saw this in the community tab. People in my comment section also said that they were having Wi-Fi disconnecting or still connecting to the 2.4 gigahertz instead of their 5 gigahertz band on their router. But I just want to let you guys know that I have not had any issues with Wi-Fi here on my XS Max or on my iPhone XR over here. Now, as far as the performance goes on 12.1.2, the performance is great. I think that it's actually slightly better than 12.1.1. Now, it's hard to say because I don't have them side by side on the exact same device, but it does feel a little bit more fluid than 12.1.1. And I'm just talking about the animation, how quick it is to get back to the home screen and open up applications and multitasking and things like that. Now, of course, it's going to be very, very minor difference. It's not going to be like a major difference or a major overhaul or anything like that, but it does seem to be a little bit better than 12.1.1, but not by much. So obviously you don't want to update to 12.1.2 just to get a performance boost, because you're going to be disappointed. It's going to be very minor. Only somebody like me who does this every single day and tests these phones every single day is really going to notice anything, different. But you on a day-to-day basis are not going to notice any difference from 12.1.1. So yeah, this video has been pretty long-winded so far, but I just wanted to give you guys a full breakdown and talk about everything with 12.1.2, because I did make a video saying do not update to it. It got quite a bit of views, so I wanted to back it up with exactly why you should not update to it. Unless you are having major issues on iOS 12.1.1 or a previous version, I would completely avoid 12.1.2 and probably even 12.1.3 when it does get released. You don't really get anything new with this 12.1.2 update or the 12.1.3 update, so it's not worth risking introducing your device to new bugs, to update to it. I would not update to this at all, unless of course, again, you have been having issues on a previous version. But one thing to note is that if you do upgrade from something lower than 12.1.1, you're never going to be able to get back to that, because Apple is not signing a version lower than 12.1.1 at the time of recording this. So yeah, that's my experience with 12.1.2 after pretty much a month of use on my iPhone XS Max, my daily driver here. I use it every single day, so I've pretty much seen it all with this firmware. So yeah, I am really curious about your guys' experience with 12.1.2. I know you did talk about it a lot on the community tab over here as well, but if you could also leave a comment on this video so others can see while they're watching this video, that would be great, because I really am curious about your guys' experience as well. So yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. Also make sure to subscribe so you don't miss future iOS update videos, and if you should avoid the update, if you should update, all that good stuff you will find on the channel. So anyways, thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll see you soon.